Hello, everyone. I am in the habit of looking over study questions, and instead of giving individual feedback on them, uh, of making videos in which I talk about what I had in mind for the question, what I would consider to be a good answer. This, for the first part of the course, the before moral philosophy, where we're looking at these biblical texts, it's really not so important. But as we move on to more difficult texts, Plato, Aristotle, Kant, Mill, then these review videos in which I talk about answers to study questions will become, I think, more important and more helpful. But I thought I'd get into the habit of doing them right away, even though really uh, the opening readings don't have study questions that have definite, specific answers. But as we move on to Plato's Meno, to Aristotle's Ethics, to Kant's groundwork for the metaphysics of morals, then the questions will become more pointed, and I think that videos like these, in which I review answers, will become more helpful, more important. But I thought I'd start doing them now. This is reading one study questions, looking at the Ten Commandments from Exodus. My first question: describe the setting for the Ten Commandments and what significance do you think it might have for understanding them? Of course, there's no wrong, no right, particularly right answer to that. It's just that I thought that the Ten Commandments does have a setting. It is very dramatic, very cinematic, and it is definitely a part of the Ten Commandments that they are given to the Israelites, that they're in the desert, that the Israelites are standing at the foot of a mountain, it's shaking, trumpets blaring, fire and smoke. What the significance of that is really up to individual interpretation. But it definitely has some significance, right? The setting. The Ten Commandments weren't mailed to the Israelites, they were given to them in the most dramatic sort of way. Number two, some of the commandments have to do with worship, others with how we treat other people. Do you think the two sorts of command belong together? Why or why not? I think there is a real difference of opinion that I saw in people's response to this. Some people thought, that to include injunctions about worship was presumptive. That there were somebody said that, well, I mean, they would consider the command against murder and stealing part of the core morality that everybody has, but then rules according to worship don't, so that they really didn't belong together. Other people said that since how you worship impacts on the kind of ethics you have, then they do belong together, things like that. Finally, the question: do you believe that commandments against killing and theft are universally true? Um, well, we had some interesting, I think, conversations in the live session last week about all these issues, but I would say especially about this one. A very, very difficult question. And what I'm asking you to do there is moral philosophy. The injunction against killing and theft is just given to the Israelites. What I'm asking you to think about there is a philosophical question that the Ten Commandments themselves do not weigh in on at all. I don't think that the question of universal truth would even make sense. And of course, there's no right answer to this either, though. I mean, whether something, a moral principle, is universally true is a very thorny question in philosophy, and I don't know if it can ever be answered. It really depends upon whether you believe in what a student, again, talked about in her responses, the idea of a core morality. If you think there is a core morality for all human beings, then you do think that those things are universally true. I think if you don't, then you don't.